Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about some free hobbies that you can start straight away. And all these hobbies are especially good if you're feeling a bit burnt out, you're tired from work and you just need a break from things, but you want to do something that's not going to be too much effort, and you can possibly start straight away with stuff you have in your house or something you can just sort out quickly and it's not going to take too much effort, because sometimes it is hard to fit hobbies into our everyday, especially when we have work, we have kids, just trying to fit your time into your everyday life. But this is something you should be prioritizing. You should be prioritizing time for yourself and time to get creative and explore different things. It's something we should all be scheduling into our days. So these are going to be things you can easily add into your everyday. They're all free, or if not, very, very low cost, and you can start them up so easily. And as usual, if you have anything to add to this list, please leave a comment on some hobby recommendations, maybe hobbies you find are really easy or low cost. I would love to hear them, and I'm sure everyone else would love to hear them in the comments too. But I know you clicked on this video for some free hobbies, so we are going to get straight into it. So this is 15 free hobbies you can start straight away that are good if you're feeling burnt out. The first one I have on my list is journaling. Journaling is something you can start up so easily. There is so many different types of journals you can do. You can do gratitude journals, you could do manifestation journals, or you can just have a journal that's literally for brain dumping all of your thoughts and all of your feelings. And again, this is very, very low cost, if not free. All you really need is a notebook, or you can write it on paper, and you don't need any fancy tools or anything. All you need is your pen and paper, and you can write down all of your feelings. And this is also really beneficial for your mental health as well. I find that Pinterest is a great place for sourcing different prompts. You can just search up journal prompts for when you're feeling this, or just generic journal prompts. And there will be many, many options that are all free. And every day you could do a different prompt, or every week, depending what you can fit into your schedule. And it's just a good way to check on mental health. It's a good hobby to have for every day. I think this is such a good hobby to have just because it is so good for your mental health and also your creativity. It'll help spark up ideas. It will help get your feelings out. There is many benefits to journaling, and it's a great free one to start up literally right now. The next one I have on my list is kind of a little old granny hobby, I like to call it, but I'm someone who loves granny hobbies. But regardless, it doesn't need to be a granny hobby. You can do this at any age, and that is bird watching. I think bird watching is actually such an underrated hobby. This is something I've started up recently because I have a garden and I love nature, and I feel like it's something I'm starting to observe. You can source free information from YouTube videos, articles, books. You can even just use your phone and use the Google Lens to take pictures of different birds and discover which one it is. But if you want a screen-free hobby, you can maybe just write things down of what you observe. You can even keep a little bird watching journal. I think that's really, really cute. And it's just such a nice way to be in touch with nature, learn a new thing, learn about birds. It's cool to have a hobby that's unique, that maybe people don't know about. You can share like different birds and what you've learned. So you can literally start bird watching now. Go and look out your window, go out for a walk, see what you discover, and learn a new thing about birds. The next one I have on my list, I feel like people think is such a high cost hobby, but it's something that it is expensive as you make it, and that is reading. Reading does not need to be an expensive hobby at all. It is something you can do for free. You can go to a library, get a library card for free, and you can take out whatever books you like. So it means you can read whatever books you want. And a lot of local libraries also offer free audiobook services. So if you're not into reading from a book, you can also listen to audiobooks instead. And it's a great way to start off with reading if there's a book you've always wanted to get into. And you can make going to the library a little activity you do alongside with your reading hobby. You can read in the library and you can take the books home with you. All you have to do is return them. Obviously, you can't keep the book, but just because you can't keep the books doesn't mean that you're not a reader. You can read and still read the whole book and take it back to the library. You don't need a whole big collection of books to be a reader. So this is something you can start up right now. Go get your library card, head to the library, or even do a little book swap with a friend. There is many options to make reading a free hobby. The next one I have on my list is such a cool hobby, and it's something I really want to do more of, and that is pen paling / snail mail. I think this is so cool, and you can also do this physically, but you can also do it digitally. So there is actually many options with this. So you can make it free and you can make it really easy. And I'm sure many people know what pen paling is / snail mail, and it's basically when you send letters to different people around the world and you kind of connect with people, send each other letters back. Some people send stuff in their letters as well, but this is not necessary. Just a cute little letter and finding out about new people, making new friends. I think it's just such a cool concept. And as I said, you can also do this digitally. So you could like use the free version of Canva, create a cute little email template, or just like like a cute little thing to send to people, or you can do physically. All you need is pen and paper and to write letters. Obviously you need to buy stamps, but again, this is just very low cost. And the only thing I would say with doing pen pals is make sure you're being safe, especially if you're sharing information online. Make sure you're doing this safe and you're not sharing details with someone that you're not comfortable with. But I think this is such a great creative hobby and also a social hobby. This is a way you can make friends and learn about different people, different cultures. I think if you do pen pals or snail mail, you're a really cool person. I feel like the next one on this list people don't realize can be a hobby, which is the case for a lot of hobbies, and that is vision boarding. I guarantee if you're watching this, you've probably made a vision board in your life. It's such a fun thing to do, but you can make this into a hobby. It doesn't have to be something you do once a year. You can make a vision board for different seasons. You can make a vision board for hobbies you want to try or your holiday. There's so many different vision boards you can make, and you can make this into a hobby. Again, this is something you can do digitally or you can do physically. You can cut pictures out of magazines, or you can print your own pictures, or you can do it online. You can do it free with Canva and stuff like that. You don't need a subscription or anything. Just putting your pictures from your phone and putting it all together. I'm someone who absolutely loves making vision boards. I think it's a great way to be creative, get inspired, and just get out of that rut and feeling burnt out. I feel like it just re-inspires you, and it's a good way to just get out of that feeling. If you watch my channel a lot or you watch my short form content, you will know that I talk about this hobby all of the time, and it's just because I think it's such a great hobby and such a great free one that anyone can start at any time, and that is junk journaling. It's very similar to scrapbooking. It's basically where you collect trash like old rubbish. It can be stuff from old packaging, coffee cups, old tickets, receipts, just basically stuff that you would normally throw out, but you repurpose it instead and make a cute spread in a journal. For this, you only need a notebook and basically your trash, which is why it's essentially free, and you glue it all together and you can make such a cute spread. It's a great way for saving memories and also just reusing old things you'd normally throw away. The next one I have on my list is a little bit different and it's a little bit out there. So this is good if you really want to try something new, maybe push yourself out of your comfort zone or do something that's going to help people and it's just going to make you feel better, especially if you're feeling burnt out. And it's good if you have more time on your hands, and that is volunteering. This is something you can do weekly. You can choose a different place to volunteer at. It could be an animal shelter, it could be an elderly home, it could be your local charity shop, something that's going to support other people, something that's going to be a good value of your time. Like I said, you can get out of the house with this, you can meet new people, you can learn new things, and you're also benefiting other people's lives. And it's just such a nice thing to do if you have the time, and it's a great way to get out of a rut. If you feel like you're just doing the same thing, maybe if you work from home or something like that and you want to be more social, or you feel like you want to help people, if you have the time, this is such a nice thing to do. And I feel like maybe people don't think this as a hobby, but it definitely is, and maybe it's something you could consider. The next hobby I have on my list, I feel like is something people ignore quite a lot or maybe forget about as they get older, but it's something you can literally do for free. You can literally start this right now as you're sitting here watching it, and that is creative writing. This could be writing short stories, writing a whole novel, writing about something you're interested in. It could be poetry, it could be song lyrics. There's many different options with creative writing, which is what makes it so fun, and it can definitely be like an everlasting hobby that you do for the rest of your life. Like you can literally just get up a document now and start writing. It's also something that's so creative and inspiring to do, especially if you're doing something like poetry or writing a short story. I feel like everyone comes up with story ideas and it's just something you always push to the side, like I'm never going to write a book. But what's stopping you from like writing a short story just for you, or you can share it with your friends? Like there's so many different options with this hobby, and I think it's just something fun and creative to do. You don't even have to do this as a regular hobby. You could just do it as a one-off activity if you're feeling really bored. Maybe you're feeling really bored, which is why you started watching this video, and if you want something to do, go write a short story or go write a little poem. It could be really fun. I always feel like movement is a great way if you're feeling burnt out, because sometimes if you're just stuck in the same place, it's nice to move your body, and it doesn't have to be in an intense way like running or lifting weights. Sometimes you just really don't want to do that. I feel like a lot of people forget you can do stuff like yoga and Pilates for free at your home. You can literally start right now. You don't need to go to a class or do fancy reformer Pilates to do Pilates or get movement in. You can literally do a yoga or Pilates video whenever you're just feeling like it. Nowadays there's so much free content for like yoga videos, Pilates videos. This is a hobby you can pick up at any time when you're feeling like you want to move your body or you want to clear your head. Exercise is so good for you, and it can be gentle. It doesn't have to be really hard. So maybe try a free workout. I promise you it will probably probably make you feel a lot better. This hobby is a little bit similar to reading. It kind of links, and that is joining a book club. There are so many free book clubs out there. You might even have one in your local area. I would recommend looking into that. But if not, you can literally join free book clubs now on Fable. I absolutely love using Fable. It's such a great free app for tracking your reading and stuff like that. This is not sponsored at all. This is just something I genuinely use. And I've also joined book clubs on there for free, and it's so fun to connect with other people. Obviously, the only aspect with this is if you're buying the book every month, this will be an expense. Obviously, it's up to you whether you want to do that or not, but it is just such a good way to join a community. You don't have to buy a new book every month to be a part of it. You can just go at your own speed. It's just such a good way to connect with people, but it's also in a way that suits you. You don't have to do it in person. You could do it online. I think it's just such a good way to get out of a rut and just do something a little bit different. This hobby is another hobby that I just think is so cool, and if you do this, you are such a cool person. I have tried this before, and I will admit it's something I'm not the best at, and that is upcycling your clothes. I feel like a lot of people have clothes that they don't really wear. Obviously, you can do stuff like sell them on Vinted or give them to charity shops, but sometimes you want to maybe reuse it and turn it into something that's gonna suit your wardrobe more. Like, there's little changes you can make. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. And again, on YouTube, there is so much free content you can look at for upcycling clothes. There's so many different tutorials. Honestly, I feel like it's endless at this point. Even just turning your jeans into shorts is just such a simple upcycling trick that you can do, and there is so many more different out there. Obviously, there is some tools that you may need. It kind of depends what you want to do. Obviously, scissors, I feel like a lot of people have scissors. A lot of people might have those little sewing kits as well, which can come in useful. Again, this is something that can be free, or it can be just a low-cost hobby. You don't need a whole sewing machine to upcycle your clothes. Obviously, if it's something you really enjoy and you want to put money into, you can, but to start it up, it can be free. Just grab some scissors. If not, you might have a sewing kit lying around. I think this is such a fun hobby, and it's something that I do want to try do more of. Maybe I could do some embroidery jeans. That would be so cool. The next hobby is something I've been doing recently that I think is so cool, and that is origami. I feel like, again, another underrated hobby. There is like so many different things you can make with like just a piece of paper, and it's like cute decoration, or you can put it on a card for someone's birthday. It's just something to do, especially if you want to fill the time, even just for 10 minutes or even like 2 minutes. There's so many like 2-minute origami sessions that you can do, and it's actually surprising what you can create out of it. Again, it's with the thing, there is so much free content on YouTube. I honestly think you could learn any skill just from YouTube. It's actually amazing how much free content is on here. So you can look up origami tutorials. There is many on there that I've used myself. All you really need is paper. That's pretty much it. Obviously, you can buy decorated paper, but that is not a necessity. I feel like everyone has paper lying around, maybe paper that you don't even use. If you have that, you can fold up some paper and make something really cute. The next hobby I have is photography. And I know what you're thinking, I can't start photography. That's so expensive. I don't have a camera. Yes, you do. You do have a camera. Nearly everyone has a phone these days, and the quality of iPhones is literally so similar to some cameras. You can start photography right now with your phone, and I promise you it's not going to be as rubbish as you think. There are so many good photos that I've taken with my phone. I'm actually quite surprised. You can really make this into a weekly hobby, or however often you want. You can go on a walk and you can look around your local area, take some cute photos of nature or whatever you're feeling. This is especially good if you want to do a color walk as well. This is like another hobby in itself as well that's free. You pick a color, for example pink, and you go on a walk and you spot different things that are the color pink, and it could literally be anything. And you could also incorporate photography into this, taking pictures of the things you find. You can get some really cool shots. You can get really creative with it. Literally, you can start this right now. You can go on a walk, take your phone with you and get some cool shots, and then you can also post them to your Instagram if you want to. You could even create a little Instagram account to document your journey. You can keep it private if you want to, or you could just share it with your friends. You don't need to limit yourself with just a camera for photography. You can use your phone, start it right now, and it's just such a fun hobby you can pick up when you feel like it and just kind of escape for a little while and do something creative. Okay, we are getting towards the end of the list, but I still have 2 hobbies for you, and the next one is reading webcomics. There is so many free webcomics that you may not realize. If you're into stuff like manga or comics, you can literally find them online for free. You can literally just like search up webcomics and they'll come straight up, and there's so many good ones out there. So this is something you can literally start now for free. It's a way to escape for a little while, similar to reading comics if that's more your style. If you don't really like reading, you prefer to look at stuff like manga, this is a great option. There is many different comics you can get into, many different stories that you can uncover. I don't know how many on there, but there is loads, and I promise you, you will never get bored. There is so many different stories out there to find, and I feel like this is such a fun hobby to have. You can do it whilst you're on the train commuting, or you can do it while you're just sitting down in your chair getting all cozy about it. So maybe check out webcomics. This might be your thing, and they are free. You can start it right now. Okay, we are on the last hobby, and this is something I do regularly and really love, so I definitely want to share it with you, and that is blogging. I specifically do email blogging, so I have a little newsletter. I send out like monthly newsletters of like hobby recommendations and stuff like that, and I also send out like weekly emails, like different topics, like little blogs. It's just something fun and something creative. You can start up a blog, any topic you're interested in, and you will find someone out there who's also interested in it. You could just do it for yourself if you really wanted to, but it's just such a fun way to find a community and do something creative. I feel like a lot of people have gone off blogging now, because obviously it used to be such a big thing, but now that like TikTok, Instagram and stuff like that is around, it's, you know, it's not as popular anymore, but there are still so many people out there that read blogs or may, you know, want to discover a new blog, and it might be your blog. I do mine on Beacons, but you can start up your own free blog. There's so many free blogging websites out there, and it's such a fun way to talk about a topic you are interested in, and just in general talking about something you are passionate about. A lot of time when we're at work, we're not doing the job we love, and sometimes we neglect the things that we actually love and actually are passionate about. So it's good to have that outlet to discuss like the things you love and the things you really care for, and maybe things that you want to share with other people. And that is all of the 15 free hobbies I have on my list that you can start straight away. I hope you get to try some of these, and let me know in the comments what hobbies you're going to try, or if you have any other recommendations to add to the list. And I love putting little reminders in my videos, so I just want to remind you that it is important for you to take care of yourself and schedule time for you and doing the things you love and stuff that's going to be creative and good for your mental health. If you don't have any hobbies in your life, I recommend you to try one and do something that's just for you and it's going to make you feel better. If you want any more recommendations for hobbies or just inspiration in general, I have lots of videos you can check out on this channel. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another cozy video. Bye!